Okay. Okay. I am so sorry. 2 weeks in a row with technical issues. The unstable connection I can't do anything about. And I'm so sorry. And thank you guys for hanging in. I've updated a link on the Facebook thing and go Jack. And I apologize. And I guess I'll take a hit on it on my channel. I'll get a bunch of thumbs down and unsubscribes. But honestly, this one was beyond my control. Anywho, jumping back in. I want to thank you, Mary Lou. I'm glad you're back. Um, I'm going to kind of recap real quickly. So, macros, macronutrients. Hey, you're good. Thank you. Thank you, Ninian. Ooh, that's a new name on me. So, macros, macronutrients, fat, protein, carbohydrate. There was this whole movement where if it fits your macros type of thing. Hi, Faith. Hi, Diane. Where he was like, okay, let's just abandon the tenets of page 4, which are keep your carbs 20 grams or fewer, total not net. If it's not on page 4, link below, don't eat it. Don't eat if you're not hungry. Stop eating when you've had enough. No mention of grams of fat or grams of protein or percentages of macronutrients. If you just follow the tenet, it's very effective. At least it has been for me. But let's take this let's think about this logically. If people want to say, I'm just keeping my macros where they're supposed to be, and the macros, it would vary from Facebook group to Facebook group or YouTube channel or whatever. It would be something like, of the 100% of calories that one would consume at any given time, just make sure about 20% are from fat, about 75% from, 20% from protein, about 75% from fat, and about 5% from carbohydrate. Okay, that's cool. I'll just do that. I'll just make sure whatever I eat fits into those macros. Well, you could eat a 96-ounce ribeye. That's 6 pounds. And that would fit in those macros. Of course, it would be 9,000 calories. So if you're going to try to go by percentages, then you can easily just puff up the calories. While we don't count calories on the page 4, if we're following it, calories count. You can have 0 carb intake. You can essentially eat a ribeye every meal, every day. And so many calories, you not only won't lose weight, you could be burning fat for fuel, but you're just taking in more fuel than you require. That's where the don't eat if you're not hungry, stop eating when you've had enough comes in. Now, you do what works for you. And I know that people created apps to try to calculate. I think MyFitnessPal probably calculates max. It's a lot of math, guys. I mean, one of the really nice things about the way I learned the protocol and have practiced it is it's pretty straightforward. It's pretty simple, which is not to say it's easy, because then we have to learn what hunger is, and we have to deal with outside influences, and we have to change our relationship with food and how we associate food with being, a comfort or a coping mechanism or our best friend. That last one, that's uncool. Best friend, not good. I mean, you don't want a plate of pasta to be your best friend. You need to get out more or make better friends. So that is my understanding. I don't know how this whole thing came to be macros, other than when there have been studies on a very low carb ketogenic diet that have been studied in metabolic wards where the food is laid out and the people who were following the very low carb, and they could eat what they wanted, but they were following the protocol. And then all the food that was consumed was studied. It came out to be that the people eating to satiety were eating about 25% of their calories, more or less, from protein, and about 70% more or less from fat, and the remainder from carbs. Well, that was the result of people eating, not the goal of the people eating. Again, let's look at it this way. There are 9 calories of energy in every gram of fat. 4 calories of energy in every gram of protein, 4 calories of energy in every gram of carbohydrate. So if we just take, okay, I'm going to keep my percentages, right? Take 10,000 and break it to those percentages. 5%, 75%, 20%. And then figure out how many grams of carbohydrate would come into that. 5% of 10,000 would be about, I don't know, it'd be about 500 calories. That would be about between 50 and 60 grams of carbohydrate, way above the 20. So if you're going to eat 50 grams of carbohydrate, if I ate 50 grams of carbohydrate, I would switch back to being a sugar burner. My threshold is below 20. We all have to find that out. So anyway, you don't need an abacus to do this. You don't need an app. You don't even need the food list. It's fatty sources of protein, which means eat the fat that comes with the meat and the poultry and the eggs. Eat the eggs with the yolks and the poultry with the skin and the ribeye with the fat and the so on. Limited amounts of non-starchy vegetables if you want them. They're not required. And limited amounts of full-fat dairy if you want it and can tolerate it. It's not unlimited. Don't eat if you're not hungry. Stop eating when you've had enough. So there we are. I'm looking to see if we're all still together. Ribeye, yes. Mary Lou writes, Ninian, read my mind. I was thinking, I want a ribeye now. I would tell you, we are very fortunate. As a rule, Sundays are ribeye day here. But my husband and I both follow this protocol. We used to each eat a 10 or 12 ounce ribeye at a meal. I mean, when doing this protocol, I was much heavier. I could eat more. I was younger. We would go to Texas Roadhouse, or we have ribeyes here. We're good cooks. And we haven't changed anything other than we're both older. We're both trimmer than we were. And we don't need as much fuel. So now, 1 12-ounce ribeye, my husband eats about half of it on Sunday, and then I'll put it in stir fry, the rest of it on Monday. And I don't eat, he gives me bites of the fatty end of it. Oh, ribeye. I just don't think there's anything better. Love ribeye. Mary Lou Bergeron. Ooh, that's a good rule. Sunday ribeye sounds really good. Yep. It's like when we were sugar burners and we had a house full of kids and people, Thursdays were pizza night, and sometimes Tuesdays as well. And that was not good. Order 2 or 3 big pizzas, then I'd eat one of them. Does anyone have any questions or experiences? And I'm very sorry about the previous stream being interrupted. I just don't. There must have been a glitch. We have fiber optic. We have a gigabyte of fiber optic. It's usually pretty good. There must have been a hiccup in the system. It happens. And of course, last week my AirPods were in the pocket of my robe. There was the problem with that one. No one could hear me. So, and you don't have to buy one thing to be 100% successful at the ketogenic protocol. You don't even have to buy ribeyes. If the best you can do right now is some ground beef cooked up with some spices and maybe diced onion and a little bit of mushroom and a sprinkle of cheese on top, that's great. You don't have to buy one thing. But I will happily sell. Sorry, Jack likes to hang out right where my knees are. He's the height of my knees, and he moves, and I'm going to go down on the ground one of these days. No, go. He's waiting for a cookie. So what was I saying? Oh, I will sell you a t-shirt. I'm wearing a t-shirt that says keto, and I think it's 2020. 2022, bring it. You can see I'll have to relink them because I had to restart the thing. I have a shop below. You can see that. Caps, all the stuff. I'm really discombobulated. And I want to thank, I have a private support group at patreon.com. And I want to thank the patrons, some of whom are here. There is a free trial period at Patreon where you can try it out for a week. And if you like it, you stay. And if you don't, you won't. But I really appreciate the support. And I had goals set, but I can't do that now. And that wouldn't be right today anyway. This was a discombobulated stream. So let me turn my attention to comments. My nose is running. Mary Lou Bergeron writes, honestly, I'm excited. I've lost 10% of my weight and finally under the dreaded 200 pounds now. I love this way of eating. I'm not starving and I love the food. LOL. You know, I find it interesting when some people who disagree with the protocol, perhaps for philosophical reasons, because they don't think we should be eating animal-based food, or because they think we're all going to die of cholesterol. Cholesterol is not a disease, by the way. It's a vital part of every cell in the human body. Or whatever it might be. They say, well, it's just so restrictive. It's so limiting, that diet. Really? 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 Steak and thick pork chops and cheese omelets and Italian sausages and kielbasa and chicken with crispy skin and turkey with crispy skin and lamb, pork belly, bacon, eggs and non-starchy vegetables and ranch dressing. You know what's limiting? Having type 2 diabetes and maybe losing a foot. That's restrictive. You know what's limiting and restrictive? Having to take 7, 10 medications. For the record, my husband and I, as of now, are on no medications at all. We don't take any supplements other than when we remember a teaspoon of cod liver oil for the vitamin D. We don't even take a multivitamin. To our knowledge, we have no health issues. My numbers are great. When I took my glucose on Monday, my glucose was 65. My keto mojo was beeping at me and telling me to go eat an apple, but that's good for my body chemistry. I have no problem with that. And my ketone level was, I think, 2.5. My blood pressure is fine. So I was more restricted when I was 100 pounds ago. I was restricted. It was hard for me to do anything, to move. So let's not think of this as limiting at all. I do believe. Let's go back to the sugar burner days. If your household is like ours, it was not a particularly variety-driven week of food. Like I said, Thursday night's pizza. In some households, Wednesday night is, Prince Spaghetti night. Takeout from Bojangles on Monday. Maybe hamburgers on Tuesday. And then it all starts over again. Right? Take out Chinese on Saturdays. And then go to the Mexican restaurant on Sunday. And then Monday it'll be takeout from Bojangles. And then Tuesday it'll be hamburgers. And all those carbs. You can continue to all of those meals. Lay off the carbs. Hamburgers without the buns. Not Bojangles, unless you can get non-breaded chicken and no biscuits. Mexican, get carne asada con vegetales y take your own pork rinds with the salsa. No chips. Asian food can be done. You have to watch if someone else is making it. A lot of times there'll be sugar in the sauces and the marinades. But we make stuff we like here and we have control over the sauce. So anywho, it's not like people have 35 different meals that they have in a month. They probably have 3 or 4 and they rotate. Congrats, Mary Lou. And Ninian, Mary Lou, congratulations. Wow, that's awesome. Casey writes, Ninian and Cynthia, good morning from Williamsburg, VA. Mary Lou Bergeron. I feel the same way. I can move better, feel better in my body, Bending over doesn't bother me, and I'm no longer out of breath going up and down a flight of stairs. It tastes way better than any carb. And for the record, my husband still goes up flights of stairs 2 at a time. It always amazes me when he does that. Like a kid. Does anyone have any challenges coming up, perhaps? Or well, Mary Lewis shared a victory. You may ask me anything. So fire away. Let me see. I'm saying my eyesight is different day to day. I don't know about you guys, but I'm put on these are just readers. And it's like, whoa, that is too much. And then I take them off and I have to squint. I think it's because it's so dry here where we are. It's been cold and super dry. Doris Commissaric, keep keto simple. Makes it easier to keep honest and healthy. Absolutely. Janine Olson, great idea to take pork rinds to a Mexican restaurant. Do you eat the guacamole, cheese sauce, or just the salsa? Well, we haven't been to a Mexican restaurant, in a long time. The last time we went, we took our own pork rinds. They don't care. They're going to automatically put down the chips. But you say, oh, no, thank you. No, okay, take the chips back. It's the salsa. You have to be careful with things like cheese dip as well, because it's calorically dense. Again, cheese is limited because it's calorically dense. Calories count. So we generally do the salsa, get the carne asada. Yes, we have the guacamole. So we'll say no rice, no beans, no tortillas. Bring extra ensalada or pico de gallo or guacamole, and we're good to go. We like spicy salsa. Judy Porterfield, yay! Yep, tomorrow is my husband's birthday. Yay! He's turning 61. Felicitaciones. Feliz cumpleaños a él. I'm practicing my Spanish. Every now and again, I do think about doing a video in Spanish. I'm just concerned about getting the words wrong and actually saying the opposite of what I intend. All right, let me see. What time is it? I want to go in here. I do want to give a big thank you to those of you who do things like buying a mug or try out my Patreon or subscribe to my channel or give a thumbs up or do the hearty floats. It all helps. And I'm not going to sell exogenous ketones or supplements or keto water. I'm not going to sell those products. I will sell you a cap that says food is not the boss of me, or an apron that says life is ketolicious, or my green book. A lot of people have been buying the green book. I really appreciate it. You can go to my blog, which I'll put the link below, and it takes you to Amazon and you can buy it. So thank you. But this helps my channel, and I'm not going to do those things. Not going to do it. Slippery slope. Plus, I don't believe in them. Plus, I think they're counterproductive. Exogenous ketones. Give me a break. Janine Olson writes, we know the owner at our favorite Mexican restaurant. They will accommodate us. One of my patrons owns a Mexican restaurant in Louisiana. And they have been considering, and it's been a long time since the topic has come up, adding pork rinds to the menu. Anime Perdida, thank you for your indie. I assume you mean independence? Anima Perdida, lost anima. Maria, I want to pronounce your name correctly. Maria Belwa. Hi, Casey. I'd love for you to show your full body when filming. Can you do that? No. Thank you for the question. It is a struggle for me, and I'm honest about this. I've been doing this YouTube channel and my morning snippets for now many years. It is still a struggle for me to be in front of a camera. If you note, I generally look right into the camera and not at the screen because I don't want to see how I look. So no, but thank you. People who've seen me in real life can offer an opinion on my whole body. Maria writes, hi, okay, the question. And Miriam, I totally understand, writes Ninian. And Karen Kelly, she looks great. Thank you very much, Karen, from Utah. I appreciate that. And I feel great is the whole thing. I mean, my weight is stable. My body composition has changed because I'm older. And I have not been as regimented at my resistance training as I had been. And that's all on me. You know, I have the resistance training equivalent of I was doing great on keto. And then one weekend I decided, I'll just have some pretzels. Well, I was doing really, really great on the resistance training. And then one day I said, I'll double up tomorrow. Ugh. So I've gone back and forth on this. But I'm inspired. I'm inspired by my husband who has started resistance training on the Total Gym. Oh, Cynthia writes, I love this room with you, Jack, and the fireplace. Thank you. It's cozy. I generally do from this room in the cooler months, or been cold. And then in the spring and summer and fall, I go back to the kitchen. Anything else I can talk? There is a tiny possibility, T9C, that there might be a Go Keto with KC cruise in March of 2026. I would love to know just general interest, you know, yeah, I would consider it, or yeah, I'm down with it, or no, you're never going to get me on a ship. I understand that. It's, you know, a lot of planning that goes into it, and we just have to see. It would not be, you know, it would not be a 3-day weekend cruise. It would be a substantial one. Almost certainly departing out of Fort Lauderdale. I'm not a cruiser, but your cruise, sign me up. Thank you. And I will, as always, ask if Dr. Westman and Amy Berger and Jackie Eberstein would like to join us. But they were all on board to come with the Alaska Go Keto with KC cruise, which got canceled because of COVID. And we had fun on the original Go Keto with KC cruise. Jell's mommy, Stacy writes, I'm a grandma. Baby came on Thursday. Congratulations. That is so great. I happen to know some of this backstory, and Stacy's daughter has been, it's been a long road to hoe to get to this, and a lot of heartbreak. So congratulations. Heidi Crane, would you recommend the Total Gym? Absolutely, I do. As a matter of fact, I think it's brilliant. And wait a little bit. If you go to my blog, it's actually linked to in some of my faves. This model that we have is old, and they probably don't make it, but really even the updated ones, they're all basically the same. Been a long time coming, writes Jell's mommy. And Karen writes, congratulations. Cynthia, woohoo, cruises are back. And Judy Porterfield, I've never been on a cruise, and it would be the perfect one to go on if it was yours, Casey. Well, thank you very much. Cynthia writes, congratulations. Congratulations, Minion, all around. Oh, I got goosebumps, Stacy. I'm so pleased for you and your family. That's so awesome. What else can I share with you? Okay, so yeah, I do recommend the Total Gym. It's easy. It's set up. It's upstairs. And it really is brilliant. It really is so clever, and it's so straightforward. It's like the ketogenic protocol. It's very straightforward and makes great sense. All right, you guys, I appreciate you hanging in there. I will check with my service provider because there shouldn't have been a blip, but sometimes there are, and I'll make sure my router stuff is updated and all that. But I do appreciate you. Jenny, a cruise would be great. Jell's mommy, smile, smile, smile. Judy Porterfield, have an awesome weekend, Casey. You guys too, stay warm. It's a little bit warmer here than it has been. I mean, several mornings this past week, it was like 12 degrees and 14, which is very unusual for this area for this long a period of time. But it's warming up. And keep your carbs 20 grams or fewer. Total, not net. If it's not on page 4, link below, don't eat it. Don't eat if you're not hungry. Stop eating when you've had enough. Be patient and persevere. And don't sweat the M word. It's not part of the protocol. It's just not. All right. TTFN.